Hey guys, welcome back. It is a beautiful March 1st out here today, and we are going to get started with some OpenScad, more OpenScad videos we have coming for you. Today we're going to make some table feet, loudspeaker feet. They can really be any kind of wood project feet that you have, or even more if you want to use adhesive instead of screws that we're going to use in this. But let's get to designing. First I'm going to go out and I'm going to enjoy some of this nice weather. Then we're going to get to designing on the computer. Let's get to it. Okay guys, real quick, here is the finished project. You can see we got a countersink and a hole through. These are just tiny feet I made, and let me show you what my original use case was for these. Case is for this subwoofer. I just want to get it off the ground a tiny bit. I don't necessarily want to drill holes in it with screws, but I think I'm going to. It's got some pretty thick MDF it's built out of. If not, I could always glue that. You know, find a different way, an alternative way to attach those, but I think I'm going to stick with what I got so far. So let's talk about how we design these things in OpenScad.
Hey, welcome back to the computer, everybody. This is our file. I'm going to introduce something I did differently, and this is the module. I did this just because a lot of times people will use this just so they can reuse code in different parts of the file, or even in different files. They'll create module files and include them. But one thing this does for me is helps to keep all the layers of this design straight. As you can see, we got another pretty simple one here. This is the loudspeaker foot, is what I'm going to call it. It also could be a table leg. You change the height and width. It can be, you know, just about any kind of foot that you want it to be. But first I'm going to make a module called cone, and that's going to be this whole outside portion we see here. And the way we make a cone is we just make a cylinder. We give it a height. The height is 20. We give it a radius 1 and a radius 2. And the radius 1 is the bottom, and the radius 2 is the top. So you can see radius 1 is 10. This bottom part's 10. The top one is 6. That's radius 2. That's what gives us that cone shape. The next, I'm going to build the screw hole, and the screw hole is what goes all the way through the cone. And that one's pretty simple. You just translate it down a little bit on the z-axis, so get it below your cone. That way it goes through, and then you got to give it enough height to get out the top. So translate 0 on the x, 0 on the y, and this is x, this is y, and -6 on the z, this is z. So up and down vertical side is z. Just think about it like your 3D printer is, basically. And then we're going to make a cylinder. I gave it a height of 100. Guarantee that's going to go through this this cone that's only 20 high. So, and a radius of 3. And that gives us about the size we need for a screw to fit through there. And that is our middle cylinder, let's call it, for screw hole. Now, when we put this all together, you'll see how we get it to subtract and all that. But the next is the countersink, and that's this section right here. It's just another cylinder to take away from the top of the cone and only going down a certain part. So you can see that's a height of 5 and a radius of 5.2. So now we're going to build the model, and we're going to subtract the screw hole and the countersink. I think that's one word, but don't tell anybody, from the main base cone. This is the base cone. So what we'll do is we'll do a difference, and I wanted this to be smooth around here, so that's what this facet is, facet of 100. Let's make it smooth, because, you know, if you leave it at, let's say you leave it at 8 and redo it, see how it gets all blocky. So I want mine to be smooth, which will take longer to print, but that's okay with me. You make it 100 and bam, it's smooth. And then, you know, we're going to start with this cone, the base cone. That's this module right here. And then we're going to translate the screw hole to -6, which I'm not sure we need to do that because it's already up here, but that's okay. It's going to do it twice, and we have enough height that'll make up for it. And then we're going to apply the screw hole module. That's what creates this piece. Then next we're going to do the countersink. To do that, we need to translate up to 18. So that's 2 down from the top. If you remember, our base cone's 20 high. So let's start it at 18, 2 down from the top of the cone, and subtract it from this cone, and that's countersink right there. And that's what was covered in this module, that little cylinder. And then what I did is I went ahead and decided, hey, while we're in here, let's put a countersink on the bottom side. Now that's going to be more difficult to print, but what we'll do here is just translate this up to start from the from the -3, and make it a height of 5, so it goes in 2 on the base of the cone. So really it's all about moving your objects where you need them, and then using a difference to take away. It's pretty simple. That's all we have for this design. This is just a real quick one. Again, these will get more in depth. This introduced modules. You don't have to do it via module. I did it this way. It's just easier for me to keep track of the pieces and then build it using these modules. I'll put the code down in the description. I'll probably even upload this thing on Thingiverse so you can play with it yourself. So that's all we have for today. Thanks for watching.
Well, hey guys, there we have another OpenScad project. That's all we have for today. More of those to come. I'm really getting into OpenScad, seeing what I can do with it. I'm still a beginner, but it's a lot of fun. So learn along with me. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we will see you next time.